Today is day 34 of the farmers' protest in the national capital. Now, farmer leaders will hold talks with the centre tomorrow. So far, 5 rounds of talks have taken place between the protesting unions and the government. But a stalemate has continued, with farmers refusing to accept anything less than the repeal of the farm laws. That's the big focus of us today, that the farmers and the centres will hold talks tomorrow. The Union Minister has called for talks with the centre tomorrow. A hard line on the talks, the farmers continuing their protest today on day 34, even as the government invited 40 protesting farmer unions for another round of talks on December 30th. The Agricultural Minister drew a hard line yesterday, stating that the Prime Minister is dedicated in improving the economic condition of farmers and no power could exert pressure and influence him to change his decision. So the centre drawing a hard line on what they believe is a reformation of the laws. Joining me on the broadcast is my colleague Shivani. Shivani, take us through the demands of the farmers, because we're looking at we're at day 34 and all eyes are on the talks tomorrow, the crucial talks tomorrow between the centre and the farmers.
Definitely, there is a little hope from the talks which have to take place tomorrow, and as we all know, that government has been quite ready to hold talks and dialogues and communicate on the whole issue. But as we know, that the farmers have been quite adamant, and in this letter which they had replied to the government, they had already mentioned that the first agenda has to be on the modalities on how the government will repeal the laws. So the farmers have kept their point, but we have got statements from the government. We've seen how yesterday Narendra Singh Tomar said that no prabhav and no dabav will work on the Prime Minister. He will do whatever is for the growth and economic development of the farmers, and nobody can stop him. And he also said that former governments and former leaders also wanted to do so, but this pressure coming from the people stopped them from making laws. But now, when after so many years the government has brought these reforms into being, so it is the duty of the government to make these laws which benefit most of the farmers in the country. Though we see that the protest has been going on at day 34 and Delhi remains to be captivated, the borders remain closed with thousands of protesters on the borders. We've seen on Singhu border, I am right now at the UP gate, which connects UP to Delhi. So the farmers, we were talking to them and they said that we want repealment of the laws. Right. One more very important thing is that Rakesh Tikait, who heads the Bharatiya Kisan Union, he has said that yes, we are quite welcome to the talks which have to take place tomorrow at 2 at Vigyan Bhavan, as we all know.
Will be on the centre farmer talks tomorrow. 5 rounds have already taken place. A quick word from my colleague Mahima, who's reported from the epicenter of the protest, that's the Singhu border. Mahima, do take us through the protest at this point of time, and how crucial are the talks tomorrow?
Well, absolutely, it is day 34 of the farmers' agitation. If you can see the visuals here, the early morning visuals where the police force has been deployed, massive police force deployment, and still there are farmers who are agitating and are of the view that until and unless the laws are repealed, they are definitely not going to take any step back. Like you correctly pointed out, that the government has invited 40 protesting farm unions for another round of talks, and the Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Tomar seemed to have drawn a hard line, stating that the Prime Minister is dedicated to improve the economic condition of the farmers, though the 5 rounds have already taken place between the Farmers Union and the centre, but it seems that it has been inconclusive of the fact, just because the farmers have quoted a condition to the government, because there were 3 specific conditions to the letter that the dialogue can only happen. The first very condition was to repeal the laws, the second was the MSP, and the third one was the air quality. secretary, though the General Secretary have also agreed to have a discussion on all these particular pointers that have been quoted by the Farmers Union, but it seems that the very first demand was to repeal the laws. So it has to be, we'll have to wait and see that what comes tomorrow, because it is an important day tomorrow, because Centre is going to hold another round of talk with the agitating farmers. But it seems that farmers are stuck onto the point that until and unless the laws are repealed, they are definitely not going to stand from here. And here are the visuals, early morning visuals. You can clearly see that how the farmers are here still agitating and are of the view that until and unless the laws are repealed, they are not going to stand from here. So again, it is a concerning point, Christino, because the focus from the farm laws have shifted to the air quality, have shifted to another, have also shifted to the repealment. So we have to wait and watch that whether the farmers will agree to any middle ground or not, because the government has said that it is open for the talks. The talks has to happen only on facts. They are ready for the amendments. They are ready even to change the wording of the farm law according to the concern of the farmers. But until and unless farmers come onto a middle ground, it is not possible to have a dialogue. Even to agree for a dialogue with the centre, it has to be to a middle ground. But farmers here at the border, whether it is Singhu or the Tikri, they are onto the demand that to repeal the laws is only solution, because they are in a win situation, Christino.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, Mahima, for joining us on the broadcast. Many thanks to Shivani as well for getting us all those latest updates as well. All eyes will be on the centre tomorrow as they hold talks with the protesting farmers. The government saying that they will keep an open mind and have urged the farmers to come as well with an open mind and hopefully to solve the deadlock